Hi, friends. Have you ever wrestled with worry, or maybe you felt yourself slowly sinking into sadness, or maybe you've tried to fall asleep at night only to have pestering thoughts rob you of a good night's rest? Well, if you've experienced any of these things, congratulations, you're human. And being a human being can be hard. It may surprise you, though, that how you interact with these daily challenges of being human can have profound effects on whether or not you experience a major episode of mental illness like anxiety or depression later on in your life. It turns out that just like physical fitness impacts your risk factor for later medical conditions, your emotional health and psychological fitness has a profound impact on whether or not you are at risk for developing later mental illness or mental illness episodes like anxiety episodes or depression episodes. Research has recently discovered that there's four variables which have an impact on our emotional health and psychological fitness, and they are education. Having effective education that teaches you tools, tips, and strategies for how to interact with your mind, your thoughts, and your emotions in a way that's healthy and adaptive for you. A supportive relationship with a caring other. A community of other people who are also focused on the same goal. And a safe place where you can practice emerging skills. Now, if we take a look at treatment for severe mental illness, you'll see that all four of those factors are present, but they're amplified and more concentrated. So when you see a therapist, you get a education on how to interact with your mind, thoughts, feelings, and emotions in a way that is more helpful and adaptive to you. You get a supportive relationship in your therapist. You also get a community that is focused on the same outcome. You and your therapist are now a community of two focused on the same outcome, which is your emotional health and psychological fitness. And you get a safe place to practice these skills within your therapist's office. Now, I love therapy, and as a clinical psychologist who has practiced for over 20 years, I see tremendous value in it. However, it's impossible to provide a therapist for everybody out there. And people that are helpers and givers, like you, are very often hesitant to seek out additional help because they're the ones that are always taking care of others. And so they don't want to take time and energy away from others in order to focus on themselves. So very often helpers and givers do not reach out for support or treatment until there's a crisis. Now, if you've ever tried to get into a therapist when there's crisis, you know that there's lots of hurdles to that. Very often therapists either have a wait list or they can't get you in for weeks or months later. And you have to try to coordinate schedules. And you have to see if they take your insurance. And then you have to decide how you're going to pay for the copay, figure out parking, etc. And even though there's online therapy that's more convenient now, you still have a lot of those hurdles, primarily trying to coordinate schedules and find a safe place that's quiet where you can feel vulnerable enough where you can open up to your therapist without being interrupted by the dog, the kids, the mailman, etc. But what if you didn't have to wait for a crisis? And what if you had access to those four variables: effective education, a supportive other, a community that's focused on the same improvement of emotional health and psychological fitness, and a safe place where you can practice emerging skills without burdening your loved ones? Well, my friends, I'd like to introduce you to the Peaceable Community. The Peaceable Community is an online community that provides all of those aspects: education, support, community, and a safe place to practice, all in a format that looks very similar to a Facebook group, but without the Facebook overlords trying to steal your information and sell it to the highest bidder. I would love you to join this community. It's just starting, so I would like you to be a founding member. And in order to facilitate that, I am offering a founding members annual membership for this site that is just $99 a year. That's it. That works out to be less than $10 a month, which is less than 2 beverages at your favorite coffee stand. And you are definitely worth the investment of $10 a month to focus on your emotional health and psychological fitness. I hope you'll consider being a member. Please click on the link below. Come and join us. And if you have other helpers and givers that you think would benefit from this type of community, please share this video as well. I look forward to seeing you inside the Peaceable Community.